Wade Wilson has many conflicting memories of his childhood. He sometimes remembers his father as an abusive man who beat him. Others that his mother died when he was 5 years old. He has also commented that his father told bad jokes and abandoned him and his mother. However, it was eventually revealed that his parents were still together, living in Canada, and had kept Wade's room as he had left it, but Wade himself did not recognize the house, his parents, or his room when he returned there as an adult. After leaving home, he appears to have joined the U.S. Army Special Forces, but despite his superior abilities, he was expelled for not following orders that conflicted with his moral code. After a failed suicide attempt just before his 19th birthday, Wade was invited to join a clandestine group of assassins for the CIA. In the United States, Wade met and fell in love with teenage mutant prostitute Vanessa Carlyle, with whom he shared dreams of a better life. Upon learning that he had developed 34 inoperable cancerous tumors, Wilson broke up with his girlfriend rather than force her to stay with a terminally ill man. He even abandoned his chemotherapy treatments, as he did not want to prolong his life. Back in Canada, he was offered hope in the form of Department K, a special weapons development branch of the Canadian government. Wilson became a test subject in a new version of the Weapon X program. His cancer was temporarily stopped by implanting a healing factor derived from a sample of Wolverine's blood. Wilson actively participated in a covert field unit alongside the nearly invulnerable Sluggo and the cyborgs Kane and Slayback. Vanessa herself later joined the team after having manifested mutant shape-shifting abilities, calling herself Copycat. During a mission, Wilson killed his teammate Slayback. Shortly after, his healing factor began to destabilize, causing his cancer to return from remission and causing skin deformities. As a result, he was expelled from Weapon X. Wade was kidnapped and used as a test subject by Dr. Killebrew and his sadistic assistant Ajax. The patients played a Deadpool betting game on how long each test subject would live. In due course, Wilson formed a romantic relationship with the cosmic entity Death, who considered him a soulmate. Wilson began attempting suicide, to join Death, going so far as to start taunting Ajax by saying his real name, Francis, over and over again, which earned him the respect of his peers. Ajax subsequently ripped out Wilson's heart and left him for dead, but Wilson's thirst for revenge was so strong that he activated his healing factor, regenerating his heart, although it did not heal his scarred body. Taking the name Deadpool, he escaped from the laboratory so he could get revenge. After his escape, Deadpool served for a time as a mercenary alongside Hammerhead. Later, he began to work alone and adopted his characteristic red suit. At some point during his mercenary career, he was employed as an assassin by Wilson Fisk. He also faced Wolverine, when he was a spy for the Canadian government. Some years later, Deadpool sought out Dr. Walter Lankowski, who treated his healing factor and obtained a teleportation device. Wade was later hired by Francis Talbot to use a time machine to alter history to his benefit. This led Deadpool to come into conflict with Cable for the first time. Cable managed to erase Talbot from existence, thus restoring history. Deadpool was supposedly present during the Secret Wars and carried the Venom symbiote before Spider-Man, but this story contradicts many others, so its canonicity is in doubt. Deadpool attempted to join the Heroes for Hire and accompanied them on a mission to protect a warehouse in Midtown. During the mission, Carmelita Camacho, the daughter of the winery owner, thought they were about to die and had sexual relations with him. Unbeknownst to Deadpool, Carmelita had become pregnant and raised the child, Eleanor Camacho, alone. As a result of being cured of cancer, Deadpool came to the attention of a former member of Department K, Butler, whose sister also had the disease and was being kept in stasis until a cure could be found. Butcher used to sedate Wade and put him in simulations so he could extract organs and blood samples. This caused Wade to have long-term memory problems. Through Butler, he found employment with arms dealer and time traveler Tolliver, which led him to encounter Cable and the New Mutants on several occasions. From here, Wade had several adventures where he met and faced characters like Silver Sable, Wolverine, Bullseye, Juggernaut and Kane. Additionally, he was kidnapped to try to use his DNA as a cure for the legacy virus, but was rescued by Logan and Maverick. Later, he returned to Heroes for Hire and worked alongside Colin Wing, Misty Knight, Luke Cage and Iron Fist for a while. Deadpool was tracked down by Sabretooth and invited to join a new incarnation of Weapon X. Wade accepted, but resigned upon realizing that the organization's methods were too bloody even for him. Deadpool faced T-Ray, an assassin sent by Thanos to kill him because the Mad Titan was trying to win the love of death. After a mission to kill the Four Winds crime family, Deadpool gained prominent status as a mercenary and formed a company called DP Inc., with the help of his business partner Sandy Brandenburg. Their success was short-lived, however, when Black Swan, a fellow assassin who had actually killed Four Winds himself, sought revenge for Deadpool's unjust claim. Both Deadpool and Cable became involved in a terrorist plot aimed at unleashing the facade virus that would turn all people blue. The two had to work together to stop the plot, which led them to form a friendship of sorts. When the Superhuman Registration Act went into effect, Deadpool decided to try to get hired to be a licensed SHIELD bounty hunter, hunting down superpowered individuals for registration. His initial attempts were unsuccessful, but he was hired anyway, and the president ordered him to hunt down Cable. Wade was unsuccessful. Around this time, Deadpool began to gain a reputation as a hero. However, he easily reverted to his old ways when he attempted to kill Wolverine. For once, Deadpool planned every stage of the attack, orchestrating a series of blows that came close to killing them both. Just before Wolverine was drowned, Daken interfered, cutting off Wade's hands so he could kill his father himself. Daken was shot with a carbonadium bullet by Bucky Barnes, who had originally hired Deadpool. The entire attack was planned by Wolverine so he could capture his son, so Deadpool received no money. When the Skrull invasion began, Wade was held captive and trained the Skrulls to be more unpredictable to better handle their abilities. In reality, Wade was hired by Nick Fury to steal some data from the Skrulls. Unfortunately, the mission failed due to the intervention of Norman Osborn. When Norman became leader of S.H.I.E.L.D., Wade went to see him to collect money from his last job. Osborn sent the Thunderbolts to eliminate him, but he managed to defeat them and began to fall in love with Black Widow. He later confronted Bullseye, who was posing as Hawkeye. To prevent him from murdering him, the villain agreed to pay him a large sum of money to let him go and never tell anyone that he had defeated him. Wade used his newfound wealth to purchase a pirate ship and, after a short and very unsuccessful experience as a pirate, decided to become a hero. Wade headed to Utopia to become an X-Men, and was quickly rejected. Deadpool Corps. Deadpool was recruited by an entity known as the Beholder to save the multiverse. To do this, he would have to assemble a team of Deadpools from alternate universes. He worked alongside Lady Deadpool, Kidpool, Dogpool, and Heatpool to stop the cosmic entity that threatened all of existence. After dissolving the body, Deadpool joined Wolverine's X-Force to proactively eliminate threats to the mutant race with the only rule that no one, not even the X-Men, could know they existed. After attempting suicide, surviving atomic bombs, and fighting the Hulk, Wade was sent to the English Crossmoor prison, where he met Drive. Ella Whitby, who had been secretly obsessed with him for several years. After going to his apartment, he found many of his own severed body parts in the refrigerator. After confronting Whitby, she committed suicide, and Wade threw the frozen body parts in a dumpster and left. The parts were then thawed and healed together to form an even more deformed and sadistic clone of Deadpool. This being called himself Evil Deadpool and tried to kill Wade on several occasions, but failed terribly. Thanos had long been angry at Deadpool for being the object of Death's affections and, unbeknownst to the mercenary, had cursed him with the inability to be killed, thus preventing Wade from joining her. When Lady Death disappeared, causing all creatures in the universe to become immortal, Deadpool accused Thanos of responsibility, stole Cable's spaceship, and confronted him. Thanos rescinded his curse, making Wade the only mortal creature in the universe, and killed him for his insolence. However, Thanos soon realized that Wade was now the only being who could communicate with Death and was forced to bring him back to life so they could find her. Together, they learned that Eternity had taken Lady Death and entered her kingdom to rescue her. However, this was Death's plan all along. To push Thanos to destroy eternity on his behalf, thus causing the death of reality. To prevent this from happening, Deadpool was briefly given the Uni power, making him Captain Universe, which gave him the means to defeat Thanos. Deadpool was hired by Dracula to deliver his future bride to him while fighting various demonic creatures. This bride was Shikla, the evil queen of the undead. Although the two quarreled, they eventually became engaged, effectively stealing Dracula's bride, and later married, but their marriage would end soon after. Shortly after, Deadpool managed to track down and reunite with his lost daughter Ellie Camacho. Tired of his life as a mercenary, Wade decided to give up being Deadpool and spend the rest of his life with his friends and family. Unfortunately, the last raid began and it died along with the main universe and the Ultimate Universe. When the universe came back to life, so did Wade and the rest of its inhabitants, with no memory of their temporary disappearance. Not long after Wade joined the Avengers Unity Division, the real Steve Rogers was impersonated by a variant from another universe who was a Hydra agent. When Phil Coulson became suspicious of Cap, Rogers convinced Deadpool to kill him, claiming that Coulson had betrayed them. When he learned the truth, Wade was devastated and helped defeat Hydra. After assisting the X-Men on secret missions to Krakoa, Wade was accepted into the Mutant Nation. As part of the nation, he fought against Kraven, the insane Hank McCoy, several Wolverine clones, and Mikhail Rasputin. Following Orchis' attack at the Third Hellfire Gala and the death of thousands of mutants, Steve Rogers chose to reactivate the Avengers Unity Division to protect the mutants from Orchis. He recruited Deadpool because he believed he deserved a second chance after unknowingly blindly following Steve Rogers' duplicate during Secret Empire. This team would focus on opposing the fascist Steve Rogers, who Orchis brought back to life and took up the mantle of Captain Krakoa to frame mutants for terrorist attacks. This is the extent of Deadpool's story so far, but 2 series of the character are currently in publication, so rest assured that Wade's story will continue to expand much further in the future.